Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out to Marcella Park on this beautiful day to honor our beloved Sam Sadd. So just a quick story. When I started with the Parks Department 12 years ago, my second week of work, I got a call from a lady on the other line, and she said, "Hi, this is Sam Sadd. Who are you?" And I said, "My name is Ryan." And she said,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Start over. It's okay.
So 12 years ago, when I started with the Parks Department, one of my first calls 2 weeks in was from a woman named Sam Sadd, who asked me what my name is and what I did. So she asked me if I could be helpful and said she was going to have a pumpkin carving in this park with kids, and she needed $250. So right away, I went to my superiors at the time and asked them, and they said, "Who is this for?" And I said, "Sam Sadd." And they said, "Don't ask any more questions. Give Sam whatever she needs." So we had a great relationship over the years, and now we're here today to officially dedicate this tot lot in her honor. So now it's my honor to introduce our park champion, someone that loves parks, supports parks, and most importantly, funds our parks, the Mayor of Boston, Martin J. Walsh.
Thank you, Ryan, and I want to thank everyone for coming here today. This park's beautiful. This is like my 5th time in this park, and every time I come by, it's like, don't tell the rest of the city that this is here, because if they see it, they're going to want what's here. And it feels like we're either cutting ribbons or breaking ground here, so I want to thank Sam for that as well, for putting the pressure on us, and the community for putting the pressure on us. I'm here with two people that are not strangers to this community, and one is State Representative Liz Malia is with us. Thank you, Representative Malia. And City Councilor Kim Janey's here with us as well. Thank you, Councilor. I want to thank Liz Miranda for her work at the Hawthorne Youth Center, for the work she does. It's a pretty good indication right there, Liz. You're doing all right there. I like that. That's good. And I want to thank Daniel Janey, for board chair at the Hawthorne Youth Center as well. You know, when you... I've been in politics for 20 years, and before that I coached Little League, and I coached all the different leagues, and I think about all the different dedications I've been to over the years, and there's nothing like a place being dedicated to somebody who gives back to the community, and that's important. But when you find a place like this that brings joy to young people's faces, that's what makes a difference. And Sam, I know, brought a joy to a lot of people's faces, and maybe when she called the Parks Department, the joy wasn't there all the time, but she was, you know, it was someone else. I was just talking to Joyce Linehan on the way, and many of you might not understand, but she was involved the first night in the city of Boston as well. Again, it's a celebration of the city. It was the first, we're the first night in the country here in Boston, and understanding somebody giving back to the community means such a great deal. It's incredible also to be here to celebrate somebody's life who was such a force for change in her community in Roxbury, and that's something that's important. I don't have to go into all the stuff that Sam transformed lives, was active in different places. We all know that. The sun's out today. There's no coincidence that the sun's out today. You know, we've had a tough few months here of weather, and we haven't really had summer until it kind of popped on Wednesday and Thursday, and rained on Friday, and today's a beautiful day, and there's a lot of kids here, and it's incredible. One thing about that you might not know is the design of this park. A lot of it's designed like sunflowers. And you know that Sam loves sunflowers, and we see the sunflowers on the family today, and that's a perfect symbol of her radiant personality, and something that is so important, a reminder of the lasting impact that she had and still has every day on our community. You know, it is an honor to be here today. It's an honor that to be in her neighborhood of Roxbury. It's an honor to be here with her friends and mentors and peers, and there's a lot of great people here today. If I start mentioning all of you, I'll get in trouble, but thank you for all the longtime Roxbury residents that are here. The longtime, like Sam, the longtime residents that we're here to preserve this community and make sure that this park was done new, make sure that our community centers have investments in, making sure that we're making investments in our schools. And, you know, Sam has led the way for people like me and Kim and Liz and other elected officials to follow in her lead. Her memory will go on to her work in the center in this tot lot, and the impact that she is in her life has brought on to young people, think about this. Her impact is just starting. So again, I want to thank you all for coming out today. It's an honor to be here in this neighborhood. It's an honor to be in this park, and it's an honor, more importantly, to be at this tot lot.
It's now my honor to introduce someone who's not a stranger to any of you, Liz Miranda, Executive Director of the Hawthorne Youth Center.
How's everybody doing? Woo! I don't have very long words, but first thing I want to say, it's an honor to be here today as the only second Executive Director of the Hawthorne Youth and Community Center. I want to thank you all for welcoming me 8 months ago, and I hope that I've done a good job, because if I don't, I get told every day, Miss Rayner, right? I just want to say a couple of things. You know, Sam was a remarkable woman. In the last week alone, we've asked some people to give some comments to her bio. She was a selfless woman. A woman who didn't need recognition. I've gone through boxes of photos where she's covering her face. It's great. I like photos though. And what I found is that she's touched people for many, many generations, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and up upon her death, one of the saddest things is she was not able to see the new Hawthorne Youth and Community Center. If you guys love the new community center, happy that it's there, can you guys give a round of applause? Because without Sam raising and saving over $300,000, that center would not be here. I just like to show of a hand, raise your hand if Sam touched your life directly. We have people that went to camp, people that was in after school, new neighbors, people who sat on the Highland Park Neighborhood Coalition. We have people who did all types of arts and crafts and other community activities. So we can see that she's not only touched, everyone's honking their horn showing love to Sam. So I just want to say one thing. We're going to formally support Sam's legacy and the alumni of the organization on June 10th. And I just want to say that Hawthorne is home to everyone and the doors are open. Come anytime, call us. The number's still the same. Knock on the door, because we want to see you come back. If there's any other place in this neighborhood that should be a welcoming place, it is Hawthorne Youth and Community Center. So see you on June 10th. I'd also like to thank my board, if you could raise your hand, and the staff of Hawthorne who are still committed. There have been people here, if you're a past board member, a staff person of Hawthorne, also raise your hand. We want to thank you for your 40 years plus of work. Raise your hands higher. A lot of people are not raising hands. Awesome. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Dan Janey, who's been our longtime board chair, up to the microphone. So give a round of applause. So thank you. He's soft-spoken, so speak loudly, Mr. Janey.
Soft-spoken?
You got a sticker. There's a big sticker.
Yeah, I met Sam in, I believe it was 1974, when I joined the board at Hawthorne, and she is a remarkable person, someone who my kids grew up with. We have tiles on the wall down the street here, and someday I'll find out where they are so that I can visit them. It was a good experience for me as a young college grad to be back in touch with the community that I came from, and to help it to grow, and to help an institution within the community to stay alive and to grow. And I think that we have done Sam proud by finishing the center and continuing the work. And I'd like to thank everyone who was involved, all the board members, all the community members, and especially all the kids who attend the center. That's what keeps us going. And thank you very much.
And I'd like to bring up Danielle Summer, Program Director at Hawthorne, longtime HYCC participant. And then Caitlin and your sister, if you could come right over.
Hi, everybody. As Liz said, I am an alum of Hawthorne. I started 5 years old in this park, getting on the bus to go to Ponkawisset every summer. And Sam is an amazing woman. So she, at that camp, taught me to make fire and to look for different plants and to fish we made human-sized, life-size puppets of ourselves, and did art, and really spent time as city kids in nature and having a really different experience, because she really thought that that was very important, that we, as urban youth, have well-rounded experiences, be exposed to things that we wouldn't necessarily see growing up in Roxbury, like the skiing that you talked about. And then when I was a senior in high school, she reached out to me again because she knew that I needed a job so that I could help pay to go to school. And she made sure that I had the money to start school right, so I could pay for my books when I got there, that I could pay for my portion of the tuition, that I could take that kind of responsibility. And then we fast forward a little bit. And when I had my own child, she reached out to me again. And I came back, and this time, instead of being the one who was being supported by her in this way, I was taking my turn to pay it forward, to reach out to other youth, some of them are even here right now, to give back in the ways that she had given to me, to teach the skills that I had learned from her and from others, and to pass it forward. That's something that, like, my now 7-year-old and my son as well are also learning. She touched their lives. They consider Hawthorne home as well, and we're really looking to continue that legacy. Even though the programming in our space changes, because we want to be adaptable with our community, the heart and the soul of Hawthorne remains the same, and it is true to Sam's beliefs. It's true to the high standards that she set, and we will continue to serve our community and our youth and to pay it forward. So we thank you for coming. And as Liz said, we really do encourage you to come. Our door is open. Participate in our programming. We want to connect with you. Thank you.
Hello. How are you guys doing today? I'm a little nervous, so if I talk too fast, just somebody be like, tell me to slow down. So when I first met Sam, it was 2012, and Danielle had, messaged me. She had known I was really passionate about a lot of different things, and she was like, I have this program, why don't you come check it out? And I was super rebellious and going through a lot of different things at that time, and I was so caught up in myself, and so I pulled up to Hawthorne before it was remade, and I walk in and I'm like, okay, the anxiety's kicking in and everything, and I just walk around and I'm sitting there and I'm looking around for Danielle, looking around for anybody else, and all I saw was Sam, and she was sitting there and she just smiled at me, and I'm like, hi, and she showed me the kindness in her heart. She made me a plate of food almost immediately, offered me water and everything. And when I think back now, as I'm as I'm older and I'm going through college and starting to build my own career as an activist, I think a lot about the importance of that kindness that Sam showed me, because when I think about all of the progress that I made, I think it started at Hawthorne. And so I thank Sam and try to honor her every day as I can in my activism. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm also nervous, so bear with me. I didn't really have the liberty of meeting Sam as a child, or being able to have all of these crazy memories. I could tell with you guys so that we could all laugh about it. But when I met Sam, I was going through a really hard time in my life. I was struggling with a lot of things, losing a lot of family members, really losing myself, and at a young age too. And Sam was always one of the people that just was constantly on my side, was always just you can do better and you will do better. She never gave up on me. She always made sure that I knew that I'm not destined to be who everybody thinks I will be, honestly. Sorry. It changes. Everything changes, but she never did. And I think about her a lot. We just got sunflowers for our garden at home for her, and we're going to be planting them and want to make it a thing. That's also why we want to talk today. And it's just, I don't know, Sam deserves the world, and she's made the world better for all of us. I know we all really feel for her, and we all have her in our hearts, and that's really important. I'm just really happy that we can all just sit here and think about her and remember her, and really be happy for her and be happy for ourselves as well.
So we're all here for something really special. And I'd like to ask some of, I called them the first ladies before, but I'd ask the women who had contributed a lot to Hawthorne's many decades of work to actually come up. We're going to unveil the plaque. I want to thank Ms. Harris, who helped me a lot during this process of trying to get the signatures. I know Linda's here. She drove door to door to get some of the signatures. But if you're feeling up to it, if anyone would like to be around the sign as it's unveiled, why don't you come up? We'll wait a couple moments for you, and you'll sit with the mayor while we unveil this special plaque. Anyone want to come up? Need some help? We don't thank our community members enough, so give them a round of applause for just sticking it through all these years. You can stand behind.
We'll pull it open on 3. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The playground at Marcella Park is officially dedicated to Sam Sadd.